What's up, you guys? Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. My name is Devin. I hope you will consider sticking around and subscribing to my channel. And if you are not new, as always, welcome back. Girl, you know I love you. So for today's video, we're going to be testing out some new makeup, specifically a few new palettes, which is always exciting. So I've got the Trendy in Tokyo eyeshadow palette and the Smitten in Switzerland eyeshadow palette. And then I've also got the Illuminating in Ireland highlighter palette. And I actually think, believe it or not, I'm more in the mood to play with this Trendy in Tokyo palette today. I don't know, I've just been wanting to branch out and play with more color, and this palette's really speaking to me right now. I'm feeling kind of like maybe some of the purple and blue, like the cooler tones in this palette. So if that is something that you are interested in seeing, then let's jump right into the video. So to start off, I'm going to take my e.l.f. Putty Primer. I used this in my last video with the Amrezy palette and I liked it. I didn't really have any complaints about it, so I'm going to go ahead and use that again. So I'm just getting a little bit of that on my finger and I'm going to put that all over my eyelids. So I've actually got a Pinterest board here of just like some colorful looks that I've saved over time that I've felt inspired by, and I've never really actually referenced this board that I've had for a while for a look. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I am feeling pretty inspired by the blue tones, like something like this where there's like the lighter blues into like the sapphire into the purple. So I think I'm gonna go for something like that and see how it goes. I also have some really fun colors of the Colourpop cream gel liners, which I've never tried, so that's a lie. I definitely have tried. I have like one of these, but I got a whole bunch of colors when I just recently placed a Colourpop order for some other stuff, and I felt like these would go really well with these BH palettes. So I'm thinking I want to use this look as the inspo. I love how it's really heavy on top, and then they've actually got like no shadow blended out on the bottom. So credit to this photo. I'm not really sure who posted it, but it's on Pinterest and I'm going to use this as my inspo today. So that being said, I think my strategy is going to be working from inner to outer corner and just kind of blending everything as we go. So I am just going to take, this is one of the brushes that came in one of my Anastasia palettes. So I'm going to take the smaller end of it and I'm going to dip into this shade right here, which is called Fortune. And we're just gonna start building that up in the inner corner. And I didn't set that putty primer either. I do want to mention that because I'm hoping that not setting it will allow the primer to just kind of grab the shadow a little bit more. I like always set my eyeshadow primer, but not doing it today. And as I'm doing this, I'm taking the flat side of the brush and getting the pigment on it, but I'm also taking kind of the top side, and then what I'm doing is I'm packing it on with the flat side and then using that tip to also take it up into the crease. So I'm just taking it up a little bit above the natural crease of my eyelid so that it peeks out over top. All right, so no complaints so far. I think the payoff of that color is really beautiful. I think it's true to what's in the pan. I did have to build it up a little bit to get it to the intensity that I want it to be, but I like it so far. So moving on, I'm going to take that same brush that I was just using and I'm just going to flip it over to the clean side. And I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called Electric, and that's going to go in the middle of our lid. And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of using packing motions first to layer the color on, and then since it's a little bit of a shimmer, I'm kind of doing like a wiping motion to blend it in with that first shade that we used. And I didn't lay down any powder underneath my eyes. All right, yeah, I'm getting this blue shade all over my under eyes and it's making my foundation all blue, so I am going to stop and just powder my under eyes really quick to catch any fallout that we might get as we're continuing to do this look. And just following that same technique, I'm going to first take the shade Kyoto and pack that on the outer third of my lid, and then I think I want to layer this shade right here, Saki, on top of it. Just because this is a matte and this is a shimmer, so this is going to give us some depth, but this is going to give us dimension. And then I'm taking another one of my Anastasia brushes just because I have so many of these, because I have so many of their palettes. So this one's clean for the purple. And truthfully, I haven't referenced that picture since we started this, so hopefully this turns out like kind of the way that I want it to, but that's TBD. All right, and now taking that shade Sake right on top. All right, so I actually just tested this next part out on one eye just because I wanted to make sure I knew how it looked before I started explaining it. So I'm gonna now show you what I just did on this eye, on this eye. So the first thing that I did was I literally just took that color, sorry, this is like a terrible angle, but here we go. And I literally just took it like right over that blue. And I know that might seem crazy, but I really want these colors to blend into each other. Like I don't want there to be so much of a line between where the one color starts and the other color ends, especially in the outer corner here. In the inner corner, it can be a little bit more emphasized on that aqua blue, but out here, I really want to make sure that we're blended. So I'm just gonna kind of work back and forth with that color Sake and then that electric blue. The color's called electric, but like that, it's really like a sapphire blue. And I'm just gonna take them on top of each other a few times, maybe even bring like the electric blue over a little bit more here, until you can't really tell as much where one color starts and one color ends. And then I decided I wanted a little bit more pop on that inner corner, so I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is called Lively, and I'm gonna take it right over where we put that matte blue shade, just to give the entire lid that beautiful like shimmery look. So what I did was I laid down one layer of this without wetting it, and then I went over top with another layer wetting the shadow. Just giving it a little spritz. Oh, you totally didn't see that. Sorry. All right, so now for the part that's gonna make me a little nuts. So we definitely need to blend out that edge along the top there with these three colors. So I am gonna work from light to dark, and I'm gonna do this very slowly. So I'm taking a Morphe E17 for this. We'll see how this works. And so I'm gonna start with that color Fortune. Just get a little bit on there. I don't have like very much. Oh, that's kind of a lot. Just get a little bit on there. And I'm just gonna blend it up into up above the crease a little bit more. The idea here is just to soften the edge so it's not so harsh. You never really want a harsh line, at least in my opinion, you don't. And if you lose a little bit of that shimmer on your lid while you're blending out, don't freak out, just add more. It's all good. Another thing I do want to say too is when you're working with color like this, you have to be prepared to make a mess. I don't know what I was thinking doing this look on like a full face of makeup already, but I'm definitely getting fallout under here. But considering the colors that we're working with, it's really not that much so far, so that's good. So I'm just gonna keep moving along. I'm just gonna use that same brush, honestly, and I'm gonna take a little bit of this color Electric, and I'm gonna continue blending. And then same thing with the purple. I'm gonna take the matte shade for this. I'm gonna take that color Kyoto, and I'm just gonna continue blending. Okay, lots blending with this. So now I want to just get a little bit more of a blend. So I'm gonna take the clean end of one of my Anastasia brushes, and I'm not putting any product on this at all. I'm just gonna start kind of in the inner corners and work from light to dark again, and just diffuse that line as much as I can. Doing this with a clean brush will make sure that we don't get color everywhere. We don't take the color up too high, but it'll really help us diffuse those edges. And I'm working from light to dark because obviously if we started out with this purple and brought it in, it would start to darken up the inner corner, and we don't want that. So if you start from light to dark and kind of work outwards, it'll help you prevent some of that from happening. And especially out and around here, I want to really make sure that I diffuse this edge. Now I really want to intensify the inner corner even further, so I'm actually going to dip into the Illuminating in Ireland highlighter palette, and I'm going to take this shade right here, which is, whoa, very powdery apparently, which is called Dublin. Oh, I'm going to be really upset if this is like super powdery. Feels okay. All right, well, let's see how this goes. So I'm gonna take that shade Dublin, and I'm gonna use that to intensify the inner corner. So first I'm actually gonna get some more translucent powder on a brush and just do my best to Oh my gosh, I'm making a mess. Just do my best to wipe away all the fallout. All right, and now that that powder is gone, now I'm gonna take that shade Dublin and just start. Oh my gosh. Oh man, you guys, that is so powdery. Alright, so I'm gonna make it work for the purposes of this video, but I really do not like this highlight shade at all. It's very crumbly and very powdery. Like it's doing what I want it to do, kind of, but also not really. So you guys get the idea of what I'm trying to do here with it, right? I don't like this shade at all. I think it's kind of ruining the look for me right now. I don't think the camera is picking it up as bad as it looks in person, but I really just want to make that inner corner pop. I maybe would use a different shade than this for this purpose, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to keep going. So then, even though I really don't like this shade, I do want to finish the look off, so I am going to just take it on my finger. Oh, see, it looks a lot better with my finger than it does with a brush. Kind of running that in the rest of the space that I have underneath my brow bone, and since this is a dramatic look, I'm not being shy about it. You can use as much or as little of this as you want. Next, I'm going to do eyeliner. So these are the shades that I got of those ColourPop eyeliners. I was thinking for a second that maybe it would be fun to do a color that like didn't match, like green or something, but I think I do want to stick with purple for this look. So I'm going to take the shade right here. This is called Piggy Bank, and I'm just going to run this in the waterline. I've heard good things about these eyeliners, so, oh wow. Wow. Wow, that glided on real nice. Doesn't quite match the purple that we have on the eye, but it's close enough. And I do want to finish this look off with lashes, so I'm going to use my Kiss 11s. Alright you guys, so I needed to go ahead and charge up my camera a little bit. So while I was doing that, I went ahead and applied lashes, and then after I applied the lashes, I went in and loaded them up with mascara as well, just because in the picture, let me show you. She actually doesn't have any lashes on. It's just mascara, and they've definitely got that like chunky editorial looking lash going on there. I personally still wanted lashes with this look, but I wanted them to look a little bit thicker and chunkier for that reason. And then I also applied some mascara to my bottom lashes as well. So we're going to finish this look off with lips and then wrap it up. Okay, my camera died again, so I went ahead and did my lips off of camera again. I'm so sorry guys. So I just want to tell you what I did really quick. So I took a nude lipstick. This is one of the Milani matte lipsticks, and this is in the shade Matte Innocent. So you can see it's nice and nude. And I just kind of like dabbed it onto my lips. I didn't line my lips or anything. I wasn't trying to make it look super perfect. And then once I dabbed that on my lips, I took this nude lip gloss right here. This is Dose of Colors, and this is in the shade Barely There. And again, you can see it's just nice and nude. So I did the same thing. I just kind of like did one of these, you know, dabbed it in the center of my lips and then dabbed it out from there. So with all of that being said, we are now at the end of the video. I think that for the most part, I'm happy with the way that the look turned out. I will say in terms of the palette itself, I liked it, didn't love it. Like I feel like for the price that it is, because BH is affordable, it's good, but I feel like overall it's just okay. Like to me, like I said, the look is like all right, it's decent. The shadows kind of did what I needed them to do to recreate this look, but for me, there's no wow factor. The shimmers aren't really that shimmery. The mattes were okay, but yeah, I'm really not wowed. I'm kind of like, yeah, it's just okay. And then with this palette, I only used the one shade so far, this one, but I was really disappointed with this. I thought it was really just like powdery and kind of hard to work with, honestly, at least on the eyes. So I'm hoping that the rest of the highlighters are not like that. I'm hoping maybe some of the other colors are a little bit different. So we will see about that. And to me that's disappointing because the highlighter is definitely in like the blush and highlight palettes from the travel series. Like the other ones that they've come out with, the highlights have been really good. So jury is still out on that one. And then of course I also do have the Smitten in Switzerland palette. I think I'm just going to do an entirely separate video, an entirely separate tutorial on this palette just so we can give this one a fair shot as well. So that is going to be it for today's video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Before you leave, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any future uploads from me. And with that, I will catch you in my next video. Mwah. Love you. I thought I saw a bug on the ceiling. Bye.